Thank you for tuning in, and welcome to Errant Update. It's a new week, and that means it's time for another update. And what a week last week were. I mean, loads of updates, loads of positive response. I never had so many comments in a week. I don't think I ever had so many views in 1 week. And actually, I don't think I ever had that many subscribers in 1 week. So that is quite crazy. And we reached 400 subs and went beyond that. I think we're at 413 right now. So woohoo, that's super nice. Of course, some of this comes from Edic Beer 40K's monthly top 3, where me and my channel, and by association the wonderful crew that plays with me and rants with me, got first place. And I can say on behalf of the entire crew that we are super happy about that. We had a little Facebook chat chant where we all went like, "Whoa!" So yeah, go us! That's great. Let's see if we can keep up the good work, so to say, and keep the content quality in a place where you people like it. So, this week is obviously what the update is about. But before that, I have this idea. So, if any of you have a question for me, it can be about anything. Post it below, and we'll do like pretty much any other channel, and have a Q&A segment in the updates. And if you painted a miniature or a unit or an army and you would like to get some feedback on it, send me a picture or a bunch of pictures to my Facebook page, and I'll be sure to show the pictures here and talk about them. So hopefully some of you sitting out there think that would be fun, because I think a viewer contact segment would be great. But enough about that. Our first segment today is of course the army/hobby update, and today we are looking at my Dark Angel army. And the reason for that is, as most of you probably know by now, I'm painting up Sleeping Bear's Necrons. I'm painting up Mother Nurgle's Death Guard and Nurgle Demons. And then I have my my Dark Angel army, and I have a lot of models unfinished, mostly, for an AdMech army. And since the AdMech Codex is coming shortly after the Death Guard Codex, the Dark Angels will get shelved for a while. I have some almost finished squads that I'll try to get around to in between other projects, but the army, as I'm about to show you, is how it will probably look until the codex comes out. I have enough to make varied lists and play with them, but the 3 other armies are deserving the attention to get to the same volume and ability to make interesting lists, so to say. So let's go take a look at the Dark Angel army. Dark Angel Army Showcase time. So, let's start with the chapter command, or company command, that is, because my army is based on the 5th company, so obviously led by Company Master Balthazar, known from several novels. Only thing I've done special with him is I've given him a banner, because it seemed kind of weird that he would not have a back banner when so many Dark Angels have. And I think that turned out pretty well. I'm generally
just really happy with him as my boss man for the company. Then we have Turmir, who was also known from Dark Vengeance and the story of Balthazar. I painted him up as my very first HQ, and it shows a bit, but I think I did alright on him. Then the rest of the company command I've had to make up myself, because they're not defined in any of the books, at least not as far as I'm concerned. So I made Balon, the Tech Marine, who you saw in a video not too long ago. Also really happy with him. Again, especially because he is just a kit bash from the Bitchbox. And Fanuel, the Chaplain, because for some reason the company Chaplain is not defined. And he is obviously made from the Dark Vengeance Sergeant, with a few extra bits and homemade croziers. Also really happy with that. And the company champion, once again, not defined. I call him Cafon, and he is... my idea for the story of this guy is that he was champion while the company was stationed somewhere along with some Space Wolves, and he actually won the ritual fight between the champions, and later on that campaign, he and the other champion ended up in some grim situation and fought their way out of it, and as a sign of brotherhood and stuff, they exchanged shoulder pads. So that's why he has a Space Wolf shoulder pad, and somewhere in the fictional universe there is a Space Wolf champion with a Dark Angel shoulder pad. Oh, at least that's my idea for it. Then we have my scouts. These are well known from actually my most popular video, I believe, Magnetizing Scouts. I have a ton of magnetized options on these, and a lot of videos showcasing how I painted them and stuff like that. So go check that out if you want to know more about those. Sergeant Malak and his crew, right now combat squatted. Then we have Boulder Marines. I have tons more of these, and I will do a huge batch paint at some point, just to have a full company. And specialists, I definitely need more of those, but I just make them from the Dark Vengeance Marines, and as I said, I have a lot of those, so it's just a matter of sticking some melter guns and some stuff in their hands. The heavy weapon guys, these double as Devastators and heavy weapon tacticals. And also, I need to make more of these. I have heavy weapons, so as you can see, these are just regular Dark Vengeance Marines with alternate heavy weapons stuck on them. This one is from the Dark Angel Veterans box though, but the rest of them. And my selection of sergeants. I have two of the Dark Vengeance Sergeant. One has been given a bolt pistol and another head, but otherwise they're pretty much the same. The Gamesday Sergeant with Power Fist and Storm Boulder, and three Boulder Sergeants with back banners. And again, these were among the first minis I painted up for the army. So that is the basic Green Wing. I only have 5 Terminators, and these are the Deathwing from Dark Vengeance. I have a lot of them, as well as 2 boxes of Deathwing. So my idea is to go conversion crazy at some point and make a small Deathwing army. I also have Belial lying around somewhere, so that should be oh, and 2 Land Raiders. so that force should be interesting, but I'd like to see the codex before I start converting too much. my only proper tank-ish, the Forge World Plasma Predator. I'm really happy with that one, and I don't really think it's worth its points compared to a regular last pred, but I think it's very Dark Angel-y to have a Plasma Predator, and I kind of like how its turret looks like a Dalek. My two Dreadnoughts, both of these are from Assault and Black Reach, I believe. I just switched the arms with Forge World arms for one of them. These can usually be found really, really cheap on eBay, and then suddenly it's not that expensive to go find alternate weapon arms for them, I think. Two last Razorbacks. These have been showcased in a previous tutorial as well. My only bike squad. Again, I definitely plan to expand this a lot. I also, in my frenzy back in the day, bought Samael and some other stuff. So, and I definitely need Black Knights. But I got kind of pissed at Ravenwing during 7th edition, because it seemed like I kind of had to take them if I wanted to stand a chance, and I was like, no. Then I wanna make do with Green Marines, because it's not fun to play you have to use this. Of course, I ended up just allying with Knights, because I also like to win just sometimes. And my good old Whirlwind with the turret from Bitsputlo, same guy as did the arm on the Tech Marine. I really like his resin bits. They're not as cheap as many other alternate bits, but he has some really nice designs, I think. So that is my regular Dark Angels. And then we have the Primaris guys. 3 let's just call them Reavers. 3 Reavers, and I kind of really want some more of those. At least enough to make a playable squad. These are obviously from First Strike. Then I have my 3 Inceptors. I'm no longer hating the bases as much as I did, because I found out it's actually not that hard to make them stick, and I think they look alright now that it's all painted up. My Hellblasters, really happy with those, and damn, they're a powerful unit. 3 Intercessor squads of 5, all monopose, with the different sergeants from First Strike, and then the 2 sergeants from the Dark Imperium box. And my command, the Ancient, really happy with how the banner turned out. I considered simply switching it for a more Dark Angel banner, but ended up deciding that since these guys are newly added to the company, they probably actually have some very ultramarine looking gear, as that would be what they could get before they arrived. The company master, Primaris company master, I'm not too sure how he fits in the story, but I've named him Atticus, again because I figured he'd probably been a captain in the Unnumbered Sons, and now he probably serves as like an in-between rank something in the company. And the 2 lieutenant on wrong bases, but I think I'm okay with that actually, because now I can use them as alternative sergeants too. So, though I'm still a bit annoyed that I was supposed to put them on Terminator bases. So yeah, that's everything. Everything finished, and I think that is an okay army to have at this point. Of course, I need to paint up my Land Raiders. I really need more bikes and Terminators, and I really need more, especially special weapon options. And I should probably get around to get Asriel too, because he's really powerful. So that might be fun. On the yet to be finished list, there is another Hellblaster squad. Not too much done on those, except for the one gun for the tutorial. 3 more Inceptors. Those I should be able to finish up in no time, pretty much. And 3 Intercessors, because of the weird size of the First Strike squads. So I'll have to get my hands on a few singles more. I've converted the Sergeant, or Kit Bashed if you will, giving him an icon on the top of his backpack, readjusting his arms, and giving him a power sword from the Ravenwing command box set, I think. As I spotted that you could give them a power sword now, and I was like, might as well have the option, especially for 4 points. And finally, the Deathwatch guy I picked up at a bit store, because it's a Dark Angel model and I kinda liked it. So I'll paint his shoulder and arm Deathwatch as a memento of his previous career there, but the rest of him will be in Dark Angel green. So probably a veteran sergeant who has returned recently from the Deathwatch or something. Haven't really thought too much about that yet. Also, I might add, I repost these guys so that they're not identical with the 3 others. Really easy, actually. Just cut off the pegs for the arms and then put the arms in a little pile, and took random arms for the bodies, and same with the heads. I took the pegs off so that I could position them the way I wanted. I also did a bit of repositioning on this one leg, but figured out it wasn't really worth the effort. It doesn't show that much, so I didn't do that on the others. Oh yeah, and I removed all the extra skulls on the sergeant guy so that he can fit in, and I can just make a squad of 6. And finally, my Fire Raptor. I've already used this in a single game, the game that failed. But in truth, I really wanna do some more with it. It has a lot of details that has not been painted yet. The red needs at least a couple of more layers and some serious highlighting, as well as some glush for the window. I've chosen to paint over the window because I've done that on my Rhino chassis, and I'll do that on my Nephilims once I get those table ready. And I just think it looks better. Also, it is fully magnetized, so the missiles and the bolt guns can be swapped, because it can take glass cannons. You can see it. It can take glass cannons now, so I want to make a couple of glass cannons to replace the missiles with, and I have the auto cannons, I believe it is, to replace with the bolters. So yeah, I'll definitely want to finish this one up before I go all the way back into Dark Angel, because I think I could have it done in about an hour if I just cleared my table and got it up there. Just so much stuff I want to do. So that is the entire Dark Angel collection as it is right now. Oh, of course, the Ravenwind Sergeant and the 2 guys with boulders on this side are also magnetized, and I have a couple of extra arms for those. But I decided early on that I'm not going to bother magnetizing tacticals, because I have so many of them picked up cheap on eBay and various bits shops on sales and stuff, that I'll simply just make the various options. So, any comments on this is obviously very appreciated. I'd like to know what you think. What you think I really, really, really should add before I put that paint project totally on hold until the codex is out. I'll of course finish the ones I've going, and I might find time for a unit or two, even though well, the codex probably won't come out this year.
And we're back to the studio. So, those were the Dark Angels. Next week we are going to take a look at the status of the combined Nurgle forces, because that will just make sense, being that it is Death Guard release weekend next weekend and stuff. So, and speaking of releases, it's time for news from Games Workshop. Woohoo! So yeah, Games Workshop anniversary. If you hadn't noticed, now you know. And to be honest, I kind of like the 30-year anniversary Primaris veteran sergeant, but at the same time, I kind of think they botched it, because all of us Space Marines players now have a whole bunch of Primaris. We've been buying starter boxes. They've been throwing Primaris on, at us like crazy people, and this guy, I mean, I can put some bits on a Primaris to make him look special. And I'm not about to pay 200 Danish kroner for one sergeant, especially because that would. I mean, I could just go on eBay and get like 10 monopose Primaris for those money, and then convert away to make them look different. So yeah, while I love when they do celebration models, I think this one is simply not exciting enough. So let's not waste too much time about on him. Then there is the combat squads. We kind of knew that was coming when we saw the sprues for the 10-man boxes. That there were two identical sprues, so one sprue would make a combat squad. Obviously, that is now released, and I think that's an okay idea. I'm probably not gonna buy any of those because it's a bit more expensive than buying the 10-man box. But I can certainly see people who just want to round out a specific list or something needing to buy that. And not everybody is necessarily interested in having a load of extra Marines lying around. Not that I could understand that, because I love having a load of extra Marines lying around. Well, anyway, not too much to talk about here. Actually, it's kind of a filler week, I feel, which is a bit weird because it is also anniversary. World. Oh, go away, stupid Praetorians. Thousand Suns. At least it's not a Praetorian. That makes me very happy. I don't play Thousand Suns. I don't play 30k. But that's a lovely model. Not a fantastic paint job, but I'd love to see what a guy like Ronan could get out of this one. I mean, he's been talking about Egypt style Thousand Suns for a while now, and going all in on the Egyptian thing. And it would be funny to have Egyptian Space Marines fighting our Egyptian robot army. I could definitely, I could enjoy that. So yeah, I actually don't know what to say about him. Great model, but nothing out of the ordinary, and kind of dull as the only release from Forge World. So, as said, I have a feeling this was kind of a filler week, because next week it's Mortarion and the Death Guard, and of course they've already told us they don't want to overwhelm us too much, and that's why I think they do these filler weeks. All in all, I think they actually consciously are trying to spread out the big purchases so that we actually have a chance to afford them. So what's coming next week? I'd much rather talk about that because I super failed at getting the White Dwarf, so we'll take a look at this article instead. So these three guys are coming out, and according to this, they are in a collector's set with exclusive content. And that worries me a bit because my guess is these are the final 3 Death Guard from the 10 the sculptor made when they said we need a squad of single post Death Guard. I love them, of course. I love the Death Guard design. I definitely want them to round out the collection. I kind of like the melter gun. And I think I'm going to have to convert some more special weapon options. I've yesterday picked up a bunch of 2 7 and 1 5-man sprue sets on eBay to give us some more troop choices. And I actually totally forgot that they could take flamers and melter guns too, because it's been plasma and light launchers is all I've been looking at. So if nothing else, he brings in the variety. I would probably regret that I forgot once once I have the codex in my hand. So yeah, really looking forward to these. But the Plague Brethren collector's set smells to me like it's a 3 monopose marines, but instead of being sold as easy to assemble cheapish models, this might actually go for quite a heavy buck, and it might even be limited. So let's see, but I'm really hoping that that they'll be smart about it, because giving people easy access to tons of monopose Death Guard is another way of selling all the other Death Guard stuff, because people already have a nice army building up, right? So the codex itself, a collector's edition, and perhaps the nicest collector's edition I've seen so far. I'm done buying collector's editions. It's too expensive, and my codices had a tendency to get replaced so fast that I got kind of bitter. Um, I managed actually to sell my Skitari collector's edition for full retail, which was really nice because I bought that. Then Cult Mechanicus came out like 2 weeks later, and I was like, okay, this is getting too expensive. I'm just gonna go with the regular codices and sell off my collectors. But that being said, if I only had one army, I'd probably go for this one just for the extra goodies. But this one will suffice just fine for me, as I am going to pick up a lot of books over the coming year, I believe. And yeah, as soon as I have this book in my hand, we will do a review of it, because this is the first of the codices that actually interests me for my own playing experience. So yeah, we'll definitely get into that. Talk about the units, what needs to be built and painted for Mother Nurgle's army and stuff like that. I hope there's demons in there too, because looking at the picture down here, we do see some fly riding plague bearer dudes that are they just plague riders or something? I don't remember. Anyway, they're in that picture, and I kind of hope that is a taste of the Nurgle demon range being 100% compatible with the Death Guard army. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Mortarion, perhaps the Primarch that has been getting the most heat on the web so far. And I can kind of see why, because the model is busy, as everybody has been said, and he's quite flashy for a guy who is supposed to be like a quiet Grim Reaper type. But if they'd released him as a quiet Grim Reaper type, he would be super overshadowed by his brothers. I think this is a much more interesting take on him. He's coming back now. The galaxy has been torn in half, and everything is bigger and more dangerous, dangerous. um, and we kind of need him to step up so he fits with all the Death Guard goodies we've been getting. I think. I'm a little tired of all that plastic smoke, but I found a way to pretty easily paint it up, so I can live with it. I love his wings. A lot of people have been complaining about his rebreather, that saying that he should remove that, or that they hope there is an alternative head in the set. And to be honest, Mortarion needs to have his rebreather. Every description of him anywhere that I've seen includes him having a rebreather on his face, always. So it wouldn't actually make sense to me. I think I would have been disappointed if they suddenly removed that just to make the model appeal to the player base, because he uh, he kind of has to breathe this toxic air from his original homeworld, because his even as a demon, his system is still so infected that he can't really handle without it. But yeah, I love that he is in tune with the new Death Guard designs. The base will look fantastic with the way I do Nurgle bases, so good on me there. Rather lucky. I love that there are so many little Nurglings and flies and stuff. More of that. I really need to get my hands on some more plastic Nurglings to put on bases around the army, just to give them more of that silly, cartoonish, happy, joyful, deceased, evil will kill you in a nasty way kind of feel. I'm all in on that. If I should point out something that I don't really like about him, it would be the split of the scythe, and that is because it doesn't really seem to know what it wants to do. I mean, the smoke goes together with that blade and that blade to make kind of like a weird symbol, and then the blade has bones, like a spine on it, and a little chain blade at the tip, and the little thing down here just make it look more like a very evil sex toy. Um, so yeah, I'm not too crazy happy about that, but I think with a less what do you call it, a less flashy paint job, it might actually look all right. Um, but yeah, yeah, that and the fact that they seem to put smoke on everything and paint it blue, but once again, that can be remedied by not painting everything blue and purple. Uh, so that's what I do. I look forward to making a painting series on him. That's for sure. Don't know if we'll buy him straight away, because loads of Death Guard to be painted before we actually can make an army big enough to justify him as the general. But we'll definitely get him at some point, and I will paint him up on camera. Some teasers on his rules. He seems I'd say he seems powerful, but in line with the other Primarchs from what I've seen. I like his rules. I like the narrative feel his tabletop presence is going to get from this. Um, and yeah, um, we had a look at this picture before, uh, back when I first spotted that new scenery element there. Still looking forward to see what that is, and how much of this we're going to get and how fast is also really interesting, I think. But enough about that. We're going to play around with a lot of Nurgle over the coming weeks. So yeah, really looking forward to that. So that was news from Games Workshop. Me ranting a bit back and forth. Let me know below if you have any thoughts on their anniversary model or the upcoming Death Guard, or if you think that this was a really great week, or if you agree it was a filler week, so to say. Um, I always like to get any feedback you might have, especially on these update shows. This week on Errant painting, whee! Um, sorry. I'm really looking forward to this week. I have in line with my previous statement, not filmed ahead, so that I've been able to pick and choose for my two hobby shows, Errant painting and hobby tips, based on feedback and such. So Wednesday, in Errant painting, we're going to paint up Death Guard mini in this nice color scheme that I came up with a little while back. And the point of this color scheme is I was trying to avoid having the Death Guard look too much like the Dark Angels, either the Green Marines or the Deathwing. So the bony and green had to kind of be merged to something else, and that's why I based all the minis on a transition going from a greenish color to a bonish color without ever touching the same tone as I've used in the Dark Angels. Also, this color scheme is really easy and really fast, which is of course a necessity when I'm trying to get so many armies ready at the same time. So really looking forward to share that with you. And I think we'll, as it is a really fast paint scheme, be able to do it as just one video without need to make it a two-parter, which of course is also nice. Friday, for hobby tips, we're going to do something very different because Lisel, dear friend, Patreon, and very active commenter on the videos, have asked for videos on how to repaint a Nerf gun, and I've done that a lot in the past, like a lot, um, and it's really fun. So what are we gonna do is we're gonna take a Nerf Maverick. That's their six-shooter revolver gun, the classic Nerf gun, so to say, and we're going to make it into something that looks akin to a stub gun from Necromunda or six-shooter from Gorgamorga. Um, and not only are we gonna repaint it and decorate it, we'll also take it apart and play a bit around with its inner workings to make it shoot just a little further, a little harder, but still within reasonable what do you call it? Yeah, within reasonable power, so that you can shoot your friends in the face without actually hurting them. So if you're into props, cosplay, LARP, and want a 40k looking weapon, definitely check it out. It will be a 2 or 3-parter probably because there is a lot to go over. And we'll do them in succession over the coming weeks. And not only that, it's been a while since the last giveaway. Um, and I haven't done anything really great for my Patreon yet. I decided that come payday, Patreon payday that is, next month, every pledged dollar will be a ticket in uh, in a raffle for the finished Maverick stub gun six-shooter weapon. So if I don't have a lot of Patreon, so even $1 will give you a pretty good chance of winning a modded Nerf gun, and I think that would be a fun way to get it out there. And it will probably not be the last time I use that format for giveaways. It seems to be fair that the top donors have more tickets in the raffles, and I want to give something back to the people who makes it possible for me to actually go out and buy stuff to improve the content of this channel. So that was the week on Errant painting. Oh, of course, Saturday night Errant. We still have some episodes with Sleeping Bear, Lasfire, and I, and they'll keep coming up. And I'll try to remember to put it on Saturday, unlike yesterday where I kind of forgot to upload it. I had I edited it, it was ready, and somehow it just slipped my mind, so I put them up Sunday instead. Sorry about that. So yeah, that is errand update for today. Once again, if you have questions for me, it can be any questions. Leave them below, and I'll answer next Monday. If you have requests for upcoming shows, leave them below, and I'll do my best to get around to do those. If you have pictures of models, any amount, it can be one, it can be an entire army. Send them to me on Facebook, and I'll put them up next week and talk about them. And finally, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss all the lovely content we are having these weeks and for the foreseeable future. And if you want to help improve this channel even more and have a chance to win a modified Nerf Maverick, go over to Patreon, click the link below, and a single dollar a month can do immense things for my ability to buy products for the videos that you guys request. So that's all from me for today. I'll get back into my portal. Take care, and